Hi there, this is Bob Bennett, and hopefully if everything's working like I think it is, this is Facebook Live for me. It is Thursday, October 19th at 6 p.m. here in California. Not quite sure what time it is wherever you are, but I assume it's sometime. And so tonight, as you can see, it's going to be just informal, and I'm here in my little home office, the world headquarters for Bob Bennett Industries. And so I'll be playing some songs, reading some comments as I go. One of the most interesting challenges of doing this that I've faced a couple of times I've done it before is trying to sing and read comments. In fact, I'm going to turn those notifications off. Getting little clicks in my speakers. But to sing, but also see the notifications and read questions and stuff like that. So I will probably pause a little bit between songs and try to catch up with some of the commentary where I can. And so anyway, so glad you're here. I'd like to, in fact, welcome all of the people that are here who are obviously not huge sports fans. When I scheduled this, I had no idea. A guy put a commentary on one of my announcements and told me what was happening tonight in the sports world, and I went, oh no. So, all right, it's 1979. I'm 24 years old. I've finished recording my first album. The thing finally comes out. This is the big deal. Everyone wants to have an album come out. Making it especially sweet for me is I actually worked in a record store for several years before I got to make an album that was then stocked in a record store. So this is a record that came out in 1979 called First Things First. If you had the right equipment and the desire to do so, you could drop the needle down on side one of this, and here's the song you would have heard first. There's a man down in the street, says he is the Messiah, telling people he is the chosen one, says that he is in the Father, and the Father's in the Son. Empty nets made full of fish and blind eyes that see. Didn't he used to work with wood in Galilee? Now he's in the synagogue, telling people they are wrong to live as whitewashed tombs full of dead men's bones. Some say he is the Son of God. Others laugh and call him mad. But do you think he is who they say he is? Or just a carpenter gone bad? People talking about him wherever I go. They say he teaches with authority. Is this something I don't know? They say it is his fervent prayer that we stay in the Father's care and believe that he is the Word made man. Some say he is the Son of God. Others laugh and call him mad. Do you think he's who he says he is? Or just a carpenter gone bad? There we go, Carpenter Gone Bad. Hang on just one second here. Let me make a couple little adjustments. I'm trying to monitor things both within the app that I'm using to access this, and also, let's see, I'm also trying to join my own Facebook Live on my iPad. There we go. Oh, wait, let me turn that down. Don't want to hear things. Anyway, I hope that most of you are getting some of this. Oh, I'm getting some nothing here either. Let's see. Okay. So I'm assuming if a couple of you could just text me and let me know that some people are getting it. I'm not meaning to suggest it might not be on my end, but it's always a mixed affair. If some people are getting feed and sound and all that, and some people aren't, then maybe it's a kink in the system that's beyond my control. That doesn't make me feel any better, but at least I know that I'm not messing up here on my end. Okay, good. We're getting some people who can hear. A couple quick things about tonight's little live Facebook Live concert. I wanted to, right at the start, thank some people who helped me get this together. First, I want to thank David Vaughn. He is a friend and a lifelong audio engineer who met with me a few months ago and said, you need to get this microphone. And I went out and did some research and was able to get that microphone. And as a matter of fact, my children, my grown children, Paul, Colin, and Katie, bought this for me and gave it to me. And so this is my first sort of public appearance. It's not a big expensive thing, but it apparently is doing the job, and that's what I need right now. So for you geeks, it's a Studio Projects B1 condenser mic is what I have. So I thank David for the suggestion, for Paul, Colin, and Katie for getting it for me. Also, my friend Stephen Churchill helped me do a dry run earlier today on this and helped me scope out stuff that I just wasn't able to really comfortably do for myself. Also, as always, I thank the lovely Mrs. Bennett for the run up to this and putting up with me kind of going crazy and leaving everything at the last minute. Anyway, so on to another song. Yeah, you know what? I've got the same thing. Somebody's getting a message that this is live video and it should start soon. And I'm actually getting the same thing on my iPad. So I'm not quite sure why some of you are getting it and some of you aren't. And I assume the people that aren't hearing a word that I'm saying. But come and see, come and see, come and see a man from heaven. Come and see, hear him speak. He has seen the face of God. Come and see, come and see this Jesus of Nazareth. Come and see the one that we heard of all our lives. A voice crying in the wilderness, a voice from the sky loud and clear, a still small voice deep inside, and a voice still ringing in my ear, saying, follow me, and I will show you my Father. follow me, and you will see the heavens opened wide. Come and see, come and see, come and see this man from heaven. Oh, could it be, could it be, we will see the face of God. Oh, could it be, we will see the face of God. Here we go. Come and see. Wrote that many, many years ago with my friend Michael Aguilar. And I'm playing that song for a long time too. Do. Kind of making this up as I go. For some of you that are with me and having intermittent difficulties, I'm no genius, but one of the things that you might do is make sure that on your computer or whatever device you're doing, that other things that take up bandwidth and are drawing, updates and signals and things like that are shut down if possible to isolate and give as much reception and power to whatever you're viewing this through, and maybe even a reboot will sometimes do the job. That's 9 times out of 10 if I've got a problem and I reboot. So I'll hopefully won't be doing anything very interesting, and you can just do that and come back. So, hey, Wally Grant is here. Wally Grant was the assistant engineer, and in many cases kind of the de facto producer at times, on my first 3 albums. And so it's always official when Wally shows up. So Scott Wesley Brown, I don't mean to embarrass anybody here. Hi, Scott. I'm going to play an old Mark Hurd tune. It would be hard for me to imagine that anybody listening to me who knows me would not know of Mark Hurd, but if you don't, let me do you the huge favor of name-checking him and telling you to go find his music anywhere you can find it, whether on a streaming service or in the usual places where downloads are found, or even I'm sure there's lots of stuff across YouTube. Mark passed away way too young, and it was 1992, I think, and he left behind a group of songs that guys like me are still admiring and playing all these years later. He insisted on not airbrushing the difficulties and the push and pull that happens in the life of faith. And so when I listen to Mark's songs, not only was I impressed as a musician and a songwriter, if not a little bit jealous at times, but what I said to myself is, this is a guy who is literally singing my songs. He is literally speaking the things that I sometimes wish I could say for myself. So, tears in the city, nobody's really surprised. Heart's taking a beating, existence is bleeding me dry. You know, but way down in my heart of hearts, way down in my soul of souls, way down, I know that I am a fortunate man to have known divine love. The world is in shambles, I'm just a young man, but it's getting a little bit old to me. I'm already aching, the tears have been taking a little bit of a toll on me. But way down in my heart of hearts, way down in my soul of souls, way down. I know that I am a fortunate man to have known divine love, to have known divine love. Siren is a warning that everything is not quite all right. The city is sleeping. I'm down on my knees in the night tonight. But way down in my heart of hearts, way down in my soul of souls, way down, I know that I am a fortunate man to have known divine love. Way down in my heart of hearts, way down in my soul of souls, way down, I know that I am a fortunate man to have known, to have known, to have known divine love, to have known it. Heart of Hearts by Mark Hurd. George Adams correctly points out that back when she was still Leslie, Sam Phillips did a really great cover of this song. My one really close encounter with Mark Hurd, I went to his house in Montrose once. It was in the gap between the time that I finished recording the Nonfiction album in 1983, and then 2 years later it finally got out of Music Business Purgatory and came out in 1985. And I took him a cassette of my Nonfiction album up to his house where he and Janet were living in Montrose, and spent an afternoon in his studio listening to it. What I remembered that I really thought was cool is Jim Keltner played on the album Nonfiction. Jim Keltner, Steely Dan, John Lennon, every studio, Traveling Wilburys, Mr. Consummate professional, great studio musician. And Mark was saying how much he really liked the drum sounds in the record. So that was actually due to Jonathan's production, and recording, but I sort of dug it that he liked it as much as he did. Let's see, what do we do here? I don't. Well, my friend Bob Bennett, who I refer to as the real Bob Bennett, Bob Bennett in Kernersville, North Carolina, suggests that I bring Mrs. Bennett to the camera. My wife is notoriously shy about all this stuff. Her line is, "It's your job to be in public, not mine." So you will nary find a picture or much even sometimes mentions much of anywhere. It is her desire to stay out of the limelight as much as possible. But I can describe her. She's really cute and really patient with me. So, you'll just have to imagine it from there. This is a song called Jesus in Our Time that I wrote a few years ago. Actually, more than a few years ago, about 22 years ago. I guess that would be quite a few. I was over on Catalina Island in the city of Avalon, which is the main city on that little island. And Avalon Community Church at that time had been there for about 100 years. And Pastor Ron, a friend of mine there, was having me in to sing. And so on one of the off nights, I was sitting in the church just singing. The church was empty except for me, and for whatever reason, I sat on the platform and faced out. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea, but I did it. And as I looked out into the church, I started to think about all of the, wow. Oh, my my display just went dark there. Sorry, kind of scared me for a minute. Hang on just a second. Give me 1 second to take off to keep the screensaver from turning on. That was ridiculous. Sorry. Hold it. Oh, for goodness sakes! I don't want a screensaver. Take it off. Anyway, well, that may happen again, and if I get all panicky, that's the way it goes. Anyway, so I began looking out into this empty building and thinking about the fact that maybe not that building, but the church itself has been organized in that place for 100 years. And I just started to think about all of the people that had come into the building, all the business that had been transacted there. And so it just put me in mind of not only my experiences now as a part of the church, but it reminded me of all of those who have gone before me, what we call in the old parlance the church triumphant. And so this is my, if it doesn't sound too weird to say it this way, this is really my love letter to the church. Countless legions of the faithful, crossing every generation, hand to shoulder in an unbroken line, lead us to this Sabbath morning. We humbly count ourselves among them, to seek and find the face of Jesus in our time. Though an imperfect congregation, full of folly and of doubt, we presume to ask our questions, then we wrestle with their finding out. We break the bread and pass the cup, try to bear each other up, to live the mystery of Jesus in our time. Oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. There are those who are among us who believe they are not worthy. We offer you the word of life. We bid you come and dine upon the mercy we have tasted and the love given so freely. Come take your place at table now, with Jesus in our time. Oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. And as he promised, so we proclaim, he will be among us as we gather in his name, to heal the brokenhearted, to ease our troubled minds. We want to know you, to follow you, Jesus in our time. Oh, 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 Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. Oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. Jesus in our time. So happy to have you with me. According to my little count here, we've got about 149 people checking in, and that's it just went up to 157. Where did those 8 people come from all of a sudden? This is very, very cool. I have a lot of fun with this, and I hope you do too. Hope that most of you have your technical problems solved and are able to hear both audio and video. I know the video is not much to look at. You just get me, but I'll do the best I can. And so I thought I might sing a new song for you. I've played it online before a time or two, but I've never recorded it. There we go. Probably almost every one of us, if I were to give you this description, whether you're a little boy or a little girl, there's always a particular name, a particular person, where as a young person, you transitioned from a very clear-cut, like, oh, boys, they're creepy. I can't stand them, man. They're ugly. And guys would be like, oh, girls, they're creepy and I can't stand them. And I like to pull their hair and stuff. I just don't like them. And with almost everybody, there's a person that made you kind of say, oh, this is what the grown-ups are talking about. These are those feelings that I have absolutely no understanding of. And so almost everybody, if I asked you to think back and name that person, you probably could. So I wanted to write a song that would capture that time. And the song is called The Whole Life of My Heart. And the reason for that title is that back when that happens to you, that's usually before all of the trouble starts, whether it's trouble that comes your way or trouble that you generate on your own. But back then when you're young and everything is brand new and the feelings are really big and for the most part really, really good, this is maybe a little of what it feels like. The whole life of my heart. She's out there in the world somewhere, still alive and well. She's happy from a distance now, as far as I can tell. Nobody ever taught me, my parents or my teachers, how to behave or what to say to these alien creatures. At the start of one summer, it was all pigtails and cooties. But when the fall was new, they turned into a classroom full of beauties. Chased across the schoolyard, laughing as they scattered. I lost my mind when I came to find that only one girl mattered. Back before the heartaches and the sorrows and all my mistakes spilled into my tomorrows. Oh, I know I can never go back to where I used to be, when the whole life of my heart was in front of me. A heart-shaped box of candy, Mom drove me to the store. Bought with my allowance to deliver to her door. Her mother smiled and took it, come in a while and stay. With nothing said, I shook my head and turned to run away. Back before the heartaches and the sorrows and all my mistakes spilled into my tomorrows. Oh, I know I can never go back to who I used to be, when the whole life of my heart was in front of me. Hidden under my pillow, a transistor radio. teaching me a language I did not know. Songs painting pictures I thought only I could see, when the whole life of my heart was in front of me. The woman who sleeps next to me, she's vowed to be my wife. She's vowed to be my wife. And she says she'll stay every night and day for the rest of my natural life. But she only knows this wounded soul. If only she could see that kid with my name. We were one and the same, when the whole life of my heart was in front of me. The whole life of my heart was still in front of me. The whole life of my heart. Sorry for that little struggle there. What happened is this program that I'm using, it put up a little banner that said that there wasn't enough good connection between me and Facebook, so it took me off of HD and put me onto standard, and that banner popped up right as I was starting to sing and just got in my way. So sorry about that. I'll get better at being interrupted by my own banners. Let's see. What else can I do? I know what I'll do. Excuse me. First, I'm going to wet my whistle here real quick with cold coffee. Had a brain freeze. Sorry about that. There we go. I got it. I'm not multitasking very well tonight, am I? Okay, this is the first four verses of Psalm 149. What precedes it is a guitar piece. That's not the first four verses of Psalm 149, but you get my drift. Praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their King. Let them praise his name. Let them praise his name. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises. Let them sing praises. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and the harp. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord a new song, and 'tis praise in the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their King. Let them praise his name. Let them praise his name. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises. Let them sing praises. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and the harp. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Pardon me. You singers will understand sometimes you get about 2/3 of the way through a song and then you realize that you're doing two things at once. You're singing and you're trying to do cough suppression at the same time. So I was able to get through, but I was thinking about something other than the lyrics. I was thinking about cough suppression. Anyway, that's actually going to be the title of my next album, Bob Bennett, Cough Suppression. So be sure to look out for that. Oh, I thought this would be a good time to show you something that I think is kind of funny. I recently, my kids bought me an Amazon Echo Dot. And I just recently set it up. They actually gave it to me quite a while ago, and I just recently set it up, and I've been having fun with the digital assistant. And the digital assistant's name is, well, if I say something, she'll start talking, Alexa, as you may well know. So this is really funny because I was experimenting with it, and this is my little Amazon Echo Dot right here. And watch, this is the height of vanity right here. Alexa, Wikipedia, Bob Bennett, singer-songwriter.
Bob Bennett is an American Christian singer, guitarist, and songwriter from Downey, California. Bennett is known for his distinctive baritone voice, Christian lyrics, and folk-inspired guitar playing.
Thank you, Alexa. Thank you. She's supposed to say you're welcome, but sometimes. Anyway, there you go. My big vanity moment for the evening. Listening to my. So what makes that funny is not so much that I just think it's kind of hilarious because I never imagined that I could listen to my own biography at will on Wikipedia, and it makes me laugh at how completely, utterly self-centered it is and how stupid it is and all that. But what happens is my wife has an Echo Dot down in the TV room where we spend a good deal of our time, even if we're not watching television. And so every once in a while at random, I will just say, Wikipedia, Bob Bennett, singer-songwriter, and it'll start reciting my biography. And Elena will kind of roll her eyes in that way that spouses do. And then I realized that it's nothing but net. He shoots, he scores, and I got what I wanted. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Oh, this would also be a good time for me. I'll sing another song and then I'll make more announcements. I got some things to cover, but this is a song that had its genesis in a conversation that I had many, many years ago with Michelle Pillar. Michelle and I were doing background vocals on a Karen Lafferty album, and we were doing those vocals at what was then the facility at the Vineyard in Anaheim. And I think that the dearly beloved and departed Randy Rigby was, I think, might have even been engineering that stuff. I don't remember. But we were doing background vocals, and we hadn't seen each other for a while, so we're talking. And you know how it is when you're with somebody, you haven't seen them for a while, and you have a limited amount of time, you're talking fast, you're trying to catch up as much as you can. And she said to me, Bob, I'm learning how to make him the Lord of my past. And I immediately said to Michelle, there's a song in that, can I go home and write it? And so that's where Lord of the Past came from. The phrase Lord of the Past, Lord of my past, came out of her mouth, and that's what led to this song. I gave her no money whatsoever. That's the way of the music business, right? But no, she was totally fine with me writing the song. And so every once in a while I tell that story and give her complete credit for the inspiration of that incredible line. So this is Lord of the Past. Every harsh word spoken, every promise ever broken to me, total recall of data in the memory. Every tear that has washed my face, every moment of disgrace that I have known, every time I've ever felt alone. Lord of the here and now, Lord of the come what may, I want to believe somehow that you can heal these wounds of yesterday. So now I'm asking you to do what you want to do, be the Lord of my past. Oh, how I want you to be the Lord of the past. All the chances I let slip by, all the dreams that I let die in vain, afraid of failure and afraid of pain. Every tear that has washed my face, every moment of disgrace that I have known, every time I've ever felt alone. Lord of the here and now, Lord of the come what may, oh, I want to believe somehow you can redeem these things so far away. So now I'm asking you to do what you want to do, be the Lord of my past. Oh, how I want you to be the Lord of the past. Well, I picked up all these pieces and I built a strong deception, and I locked myself inside of it for my own protection. And I sit alone inside myself and curse my company for this thing that has kept me alive for so long is now killing me. And as sure as the sun rose this morning, the man in the moon hides his face tonight. And I lay myself down on my bed, and I pray this prayer inside my head. Lord of the here and now, Lord of the come what may, oh, I want to believe somehow that you can heal these wounds of yesterday. So now I'm asking you to do what you want to do, be the Lord of my past. Oh, can find a way to heal every yesterday of my life. Be the Lord of the past. Oh, be the Lord, be the Lord, be the Lord of the past. All right. Thank you. The comments are rolling by pretty fast, so I'm only getting a small percentage. The type is really small. My monitor is just far enough away that I'd have to put on glasses, and they're moving by pretty fast. So forgive me for not responding more directly to your comments and so forth. I will go back afterwards and take a look at all of them. And sometimes at the end of these things, I put down my guitar, and then we just kind of chat. If people have questions, they post them. And I know that seems kind of self-centered, but we have fun doing it, and we'll maybe do a little bit of that at the end if you'll stick around. Oh my, 45 minutes already. That's good. I'm having fun. Pardon me. Well, I'm going to play the title song now from my last studio album, Joy Deepest Sorrow. Came out in 2012, produced by my good friend, the consummate producer, musician, make everything sound better than you could on your own. Roy Salmond was responsible for working with me on that album. And the idea behind Joy Deepest Sorrow, it was an idea that had percolated for a long time. And basically, the one sentence sort of elevator synopsis of Joy Deepest Sorrow is, I want joy to come and kick my butt for a change, if you don't mind me saying the B word. And so this was, and that's basically just complaining because the world is skewed in the wrong direction, and we Christian folk think that we have an idea of why that might be. It's not an idea that we've come to because we're so smart, but we just read the Bible and God tells us so. And so one of these days we will look back at this difficulty that we are in sometimes, and we will say, isn't it good that the bad old days are gone now? But for now, the question is posed in this song, is there a joy deepest sorrow? I want good to come after me, half as relentlessly as trouble does, like a curse. I want health to protect me, invade and infect me like disease does, but in reverse. I want sweetness and light to keep me up all night, happy hours passing without sleep. But sharp as a knife, I want love in this life to cut me fast, cut me deep. I'd like to see good fortune paint a target on my back. I want laughter to stage a surprise attack one fine day, maybe 2 or 3 in a row. Blessings lined up, waiting to become the status quo. I don't want to be unfaithful, but I really want to know, is there a joy deep as sorrow? Joy deep as sorrow. From the days of old, the story is told about the sad fate of humankind. How at some prenatal stage or accountable age, we're all hell-bent in heart and mind used to call it sin, but now we're not so sure. Seems when everybody's God, then there's no need for a cure. Or one fine day, maybe 2 or 3 in a row, blessings lined up, ready to become the status quo. I don't want to be unfaithful, but I really want to know, is there a joy deep as sorrow? Joy deep as sorrow. Joy deep as sorrow. Pleasure as potent as pain. Stable as an earthquake, harmless as a hurricane. Inmates freed from the asylum, at long last everybody driven insane by a joy as deep as sorrow. Joy deep as sorrow. What if ecstasy reinvented me, so little children would point and smile? What if misery were like the lottery, all my losing tickets in a pile? An avalanche of platitudes better left unsaid, when that which does not kill me makes me wish that I was dead. Every day that I am walking, it's always something new. I want to step in a pile of good and leave it on my shoe. One fine day, maybe 2 or 3 in a row. One fine day, the joy deep as sorrow. There it is, Joy Deep as Sorrow. I'm going to do a quick check here, folks, to see what things look like online, and if I'm still with you. I'm getting some interesting feedback here. Hang on just a second. Let me see. Hang on just a minute. Let me click. Oh, yep. I'm getting a little bit of audio here. Okay, sorry. Part of it is that my son tried to call me, and I thought maybe he's trying to tell me I'm not online or something. Okay. Alrighty, we'll go back to this. Alrighty, sorry about that. Maybe the comments don't seem to be updating very often on this piece of software that I have, so if I announce a song, maybe somebody texts me the name of the song, and that will let me know whether or not these things are coming through. Anyway, I don't mean to bore you with all this nonsense. I'm just trying to solve the technical issues here. Check my phone real quick and see that I actually am. See if I'm actually on here. Okay. I'm going to guess that I am. Oh, I wanted to announce, I've got a couple posts up further down on my timeline, but we've just finalized this recently. Out here in Southern California, there is a music venue called the Upper Room, and my friend Ron Strand is the guy behind that whole thing. The Upper Room is really the only venue in Southern California that is consistently booking artists from kind of my graduating class. If people are doing concerts at all, they're generally speaking going to be worship genre concerts, and they're going to involve people that are only old enough to be like my young kids or older grandkids. I mean older, you know what I mean, older kids, younger. Anyway, the point being is that I love going there to play, and I love the mission of what he is doing. And on a Sunday, November 12th, normally things are held on a Saturday night, usually about once a month, But this upcoming Sunday, November 12th at 7 p.m., I'm going to be appearing at the Upper Room with Michelle Pillar and Kelly Willard. We're going to be appearing all together in concert. I expect the form that the evening will take is that we'll probably do a few songs by ourselves and then all get together for what we call an In the Round and kind of be all on stage at the same time, trading songs, singing on each other's songs, telling stories, and basically having fun and allowing an entire audience to eavesdrop on how much fun that's going to be for everybody concerned. So if you would like to be a part of that, you're here in Southern California. They don't have any live streaming options or anything going on right now, so I'm sorry that I'm unable to offer that. But if you're in Southern California and you would want to find out about that, simply go to their website. It is theupperroompresents.com. All squished together, theupperroompresents.com. And you can find the link for more information about that night and how to reserve your tickets. Ron is very faithful, and many, many times these are done on a donation basis. Sometimes the costs involved of flying people in and doing things like that make it so that he has to charge a modest ticket price. And let's be honest, essentially a movie and a large popcorn will probably get you, about $15. So it's not that much. And we hope that you'll think that it's good value for your money and also good value for your time. So that'll be happening on Sunday, November 12th. Myself, Michelle Pillar, and Kelly Willard. Also want to mention my website. My website is bobbennett.com. Duh. And if he's still watching, I want to thank Bob Bennett in Kernersville, North Carolina, because he's responsible for me having bobbennett.com. That's a long, wonderful story. But in that regard, as far as having bobbennett.com, my hero is Bob Bennett. But it's not me, Bob Bennett. It's my friend Bob Bennett. So anyway, has that enough Bob Bennetting? bobbennett.com is where you go, where I live online. Also, in the way of commercial announcements, just want to make sure you know, in case it has somehow escaped your notice, that my latest album came out at the beginning of the year. It is a live album done at Judson University in Elgin, Illinois, right outside Chicago. My good friend, Dr. Warren Anderson, invited me to come and do the culmination of their homecoming week to play a concert on a Saturday night. And I was backed up by the entire university choir and as many alumni of the choir that we could get in at the same time. So everybody was rehearsing with all of my recordings. I flew in. We did one big rehearsal on Saturday afternoon. We did the concert that night. We recorded that concert, and it was just kind of a miracle that it all came together. And so it came out as an album live at Judson University. You can get that on the usual digital purveyors, iTunes, Amazon, streaming services, Apple Music, Spotify, etc., etc. And don't tell Bob that I said this, but you can find a lot of this stuff on YouTube for free. Don't tell Bob. It's very, very upsetting. So that's that. I also, before I sing the next song, want to do a... great. I just got a text from a good buddy of mine. Thank you, Rob Frazier, for telling me, saying I was getting a ton of comments. That's good. Because the comments are not quite coming up where I am, but that's fine. They're going by too fast for me to read anyway. So I would also like to thank, even though he may not be listening tonight, my friend Kevin Ryan. Kevin Ryan is my dear friend, and the man who built this guitar that I'm playing built another guitar that I started out with. These guitars are really artwork that you play guitar with. That's really not a real artistic way of saying it, but it's the truth. It's artwork you can play. And if you're interested in that, you can go to RyanGuitarsPlural.com, RyanGuitars.com. You guitar geeks, it's the place to go. Being friends with Kevin Ryan, if you were a car enthusiast and one of your best friends was Enzo Ferrari, that's what it's like being friends with Kevin Ryan. He is literally one of a handful of guitar makers on the planet who are working at this level and in this way with steel string guitars and behind the scenes and under the hood with the innovation of how guitars are built. Kevin is doing all kinds of things that people are appreciating and in some cases stealing. So there we go with that. So those are some of the thank yous. Let's see. Let's do this. Thrilling, huh? This is a song called Hand of Kindness. I've no need to be reminded of all my failures and my sins, for I can write my own indictment of who I am and who I've been. I know that grace by definition is something I can never earn. But for all the things that I may have missed, there's a lesson I believe that I have learned. There's a hand of kindness holding me. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding on to me. Oh, forgiveness comes in just a moment, but sometimes the consequences last, and it's hard to walk inside that mercy when the present is so tied up to the past. In this crucible of cause and effect, I walk the wire without a net, and I wonder if I'll ever fall too far, but that day has not happened yet, 'cause there's a hand of kindness holding me. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding on to me. And in the raven dark, there shines a distant light. It seems to point at me, burns away the night. Familiar figure on horizon, moving closer now I see. His heart is shining like the sun, and he is reaching out for me. With a hand of kindness, he is holding me, holding me. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding on to me, holding on. A hand of kindness. Hand of Kindness from Small Graces. Came out in 1997. I'm looking at finally releasing that to the digital domain here pretty soon as we can get some of the business stuff sorted out. I have to say, I hope she's still here. I saw Kelly Willard's name roll by, and I hope you're still listening, Kelly. Folks, do you remember where you were when you first heard Kelly Willard sing? I was listening to Paul Clark's album Hand to the Plow, and Kelly was half of that incredible duo, what we call the Woman Man That I Love medley. I think that's what it was called, sung at countless weddings. In fact, I I may have even done it with Kelly once, I think, way, way a long time ago. But when I heard that voice, it wasn't just the musician thing of, hey, she sings really good and I wish I could be that good when I grow up, and all the other sort of vain things that cross your mind that you're not supposed to talk about in polite company. But there was just something truly transporting about the way she sings. And then I met her, of course, and we got to be pals, and she recorded my song "You're Welcome Here" before I ever got to it on her first album, "Blame It on the One I Love," and that was one of my biggest honors. I think that was really the first time anyone ever recorded my song, and that really doesn't happen very much. I can probably count on both hands the amount of times that people have recorded my songs. And Kelly did "Blame It on the One I Love." There is kind of a funny. It'll seem somewhat bittersweet, but it's really okay. I've had plenty of time to get over this. But at the time, Jonathan Brown was producing Kelly's album as he did my first 3 albums. One of the things about Jonathan is that he was a complete maniac about keeping solid time. Well, I was a soloist and a guy who didn't play in the studio very much, and I can't read music to this day. The old joke of how do you make a guitar player quiet down? Answer, put a chart in front of him. I am that man. So Jonathan is a complete nutcase about time. So he brings me into the studio to play guitar on my own song, "You're Welcome Here." He had to axe me from the session because I wasn't doing it. I was not pulling it off. So imagine how hard it was for him to walk in and tell me, "Bob, love you, but bro, this ain't cutting it." So actually, the cool thing is I was replaced by a young up-and-comer, a guy who, fortunately, many, many years later, people discovered who he was, a newcomer named Randy Stonehill. Played guitar on "You're Welcome Here" on Kelly's album and did a masterful job. So if Kelly's still here, in honor of her being here amongst our listening audience. If you're just joining us, by the way, and missed the announcement earlier, I'm joining Kelly and Michelle Pillar in concert on Sunday, November 12th at the Upper Room here in Southern California. If you want information, go to theupperroompresents.com, just like it sounds, theupperroompresents.com, and you'll get information. Unfortunately, there aren't any streaming options, so if you're not going to be in the Southern California area, I'm sorry to say you are going to miss it. But maybe we can get some people to Facebook Live with their phones at that concert. And then we can get it done that way. Ooh, hi to Rick Conklin, my buddy Rick Conklin. All right, you're welcome here. Lord, hear you knocking. You've been knocking at the door. How long have you been waiting? Seems I never really heard you before. I've kinda let the place go. I'm ashamed at what you'll find, but you can make yourself at home if you're sure that you don't mind. 'Cause when I cry, the roof leaks, and when the wind blows, the walls are weak, but a house is known by the company it keeps. And I feel better now that you're near, and I want to make it clear, Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. There are dark rooms deep inside me where your light has never shone, and I tried to hide inside them, but I guess you've always known that one day you would call me, and I'd awaken from my sleep, and you'd take me just the way I am, and you'd promise me you'd keep me. 'Cause when I cry, the roof leaks, and when the wind blows, the walls are weak, but our house is known by the company it keeps. And I feel better now that you're near, and I want to make it clear, Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. All right. Boy, spotting a lot of people going by on the feed here. Neil Hagland, Donna Berryhill. There's a lot of people I can't remember. Rob Fraser, Jean Grey. Gosh, a lot of people I know. This is great. This is like I don't even have to leave home. I kind of get to. I know it's a one-way visit and everything, but this is pretty fun. So anyway, thank you all so much for checking in. Really appreciate it. Let's see. I've got time for a couple more, I think. Let me see. Oh, Harry, how you doing? Harry Offit. Harry was the man who was responsible for bringing one of the most unsung, unheralded, necessary, completely stupid that it was not a huge record and doesn't have like a huge place in Christian music history. Harry was responsible for bringing out a re-release of Eric Nelson and Michelle Pillar's The Misfit. I'm telling you folks, go find the record The Misfit. It was a concept album long before its time. They were doing things that just weren't done back then, and frankly, the record was too hip for the room. People didn't know what to do with it because it was just that good. And Harry Offit years ago said, "This will not stand," and I don't know how he did it, but he managed to re-release it. And I wrote some new I wrote the original liner notes for that album. Did the liner notes for the re-release, some of them. And it's just a stellar thing. So if you really want, if you're not familiar with that record, take it from me. Go figure out a way to get it and listen to it. Don't know if it's on Spotify or not, but you probably need to have your own copy if it's still available. And so it's just a great record. Oh my goodness! My friend Steve Bell is here. Now, I always embarrass Steve, but he's in another country and he's online. He can't do anything about it. Steve Bell is my dear friend. When I did the record, to make a long story utterly short, and believe me, it's very, very short, shortened as to what it should be. But, wait a minute, my screen went dark again. There we go. A few years, 2002, I did a record for Steve Bell's record label in Canada called Signpost Music, and I had met Steve a few years before and became fast friends with him. Really, he's like a brother that I just don't see enough. It's instantaneous. It's like family every time we get together. But here's the deal about Steve. I cannot subsist on my own songwriting and my own singing. Now, that's not to say I don't get something when I do this. Please don't misunderstand me. But it's different. In other words, I have to go to other people to get the nutrition or to get the art or to get the stuff that I need as a listener. Because before I ever picked up a guitar, I was a listener. I started, and I still am. There's still that part of me that is just an appreciator, a grateful appreciator of arts and how we are spoken to so deeply through them. So Steve is pretty much, when I'm having the kind of day, and this is not always the case, but I'm telling you, if I'm having the kind of day where I need to remember why I'm still a Christian and why it's okay for me to say that, Steve Bell is the guy that I go to and listen to remind me why it's okay for me to still say that I'm in the faith, why it's okay for me to believe that the Lord will complete the thing that He has started. If you don't know Steve's music, I'm telling you, there's enough room in your heart to love us both. I'm sure of it. So if you do not know about Steve Bell, you need to go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to stevebell.com. I am not a paid spokesperson, by the way. I might get a beverage out of it in the future or something, but but I'm not a paid spokesperson. I'm just a man who loves and admires Steve, and so glad that he checked in. John Chan is here from the East Coast. How you doing, John? Good to see you. Bruce Carroll, no, my buddy Bruce Carroll's online too. Bruce Carroll does a better Bob Bennett than I do. If you're ever in concert with him, he'll do it for you. He'll do it on command. He's funny that way. I cannot do Bruce Carroll to save my life. Anyway, Bruce Carroll is online. We are like family too. It's instantaneous whenever we're together. And as you know, Bruce is one of the finest singers, songwriters, storytellers, and human beings that you will ever meet in this world. And then you think that of him, and then you meet Nikki, and you go, wow, that's taking it to a whole nother level, huh? Wow. So love to the Brewster. Okay, let me dial up something here. I've had so much fun talking that you're not really getting the music that you came for. That's a good comment. There's a comment from Todd. How about the reality that you and I, Father, shared before the cosmos began? I think if I understand what he's written, it's essentially the idea that in the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, before creation was ever spoken into existence, there was perfect community in and among God. And so that's a crazy way to say it, but that's the limitations of the English language when you're talking about the Trinity. But essentially, we are invited into a sort of, in a manner of speaking, the community of who God is, the fullness of who He is, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So yes, my lamenting about Joy Deepest Sorrow. Joy Deepest Sorrow is a song with a code date. One of these days, we're not going to have to worry about it anymore. But so that's a good thought. I hope you don't mind me massacring your comment to make my comment, but it's a song from Joy Deepest Sorrow called Faithful. Empty vigil in ink black night, I awaken to the same refrain. I make no claim to second sight, just the blind following the blind again. My stubborn heart always misleads away from the little light I can see, adrift in the tide of my own misdeeds, wishing I was who I never could be. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. I'm easily fooled most of the time, but nobody's ever gonna dig too deep. We're all in a hurry to somewhere else, with distractions and too little sleep. I got a list of questions long as my arm, and the only second chance I see, to live and die without permanent harm, as if God can outmaneuver me. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. what makes a man hunger for truth, then ignore what little he understands. He blames it on age, blames it on youth, props up a dead man with both of his hands. It's live. It's really live. If only the pure in heart will see the glory of God one endless day. I pray His Spirit will remember me and the stuttering prayers I try to pray. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would know your name and I could follow you. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that you would know my name and I could be with you. I could be with you. I could be with you. Oh, that I were faithful. Thank you. You know, of course, I would muff that song right as my producer, Roy Salmond, logs on and gives a hello. So right as his name rolls by, I mess up my song. There you go. That just lets you know that it's live. All right, we'll see. Let's see, I've got time for one more. This is a song that I first heard on an Easter Sunday morning at a sunrise service back in 1977. I was gathered together with the congregation of Calvary Chapel, Downey, here in Southern California, and we were freezing ourselves in Jesus' name. Steve Todd was leading the worship back then, and Steve led all of the choruses and things that you would have expected back in 1977. But Steve was raised in a Lutheran church, and out of his Lutheran back pocket, he played this song. I fell in love with this song. I went to a hymnal. I found out it had a gazillion verses. So in a move that was fairly cheeky for a young kid, I just cut and pasted the halves together that I thought were best. So this is my arrangement of I Know That My Redeemer Lives to the hymn tune of Duke Street. And I'm happy to say that for people who don't have a background in hymnody, and I didn't, that sometimes my little version of this song is their introduction to one of the incredible songs of the faith. I know that my Redeemer lives. What comfort. Oh, man. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try it again, and then I'll edit this part out of the archive. I know that my Redeemer lives. What comfort this sweet sentence gives. He lives who once was dead. He lives my ever living head. triumphant from the grave. He lives eternally to save. He lives my mansion to prepare. He lives to lead me safely there. Lives and grants me daily breath. He lives and I shall conquer death. He lives and while he lives I'll sing. He lives my prophet, priest and king. All glory to his name. He lives my Jesus, still the same. And oh, the sweet joy this sentence gives. I know that my I know that my Redeemer lives. I know that my Redeemer lives. And as I live just about 7 minutes from Orange County Airport, tonight's version, the special a cappella version at the end, was a duet with Southwest Airlines. I love Southwest Airlines, by the way. So that's something you're not going to hear every day, although I hear it every day. Also, Jerry Bryant dropped in. You need to look for Full Circle. And Jerry Bryant has hosted for years a radio program that keeps the flame alive for the classic era of Christian music and Jesus music. It's not that he won't play anything recent, but the focus is on the foundations and the beginnings and kind of the golden years. Of course, we old guys talk a lot about the golden years. And he does just a spectacular job of keeping the flame alive, not only with the music, but also with interviews. Also, Kevin Grady has a station with, is it GAC, Great American Kevin, I'm massacring the name here and I'm very embarrassed. I'm trying to advertise, but I'm not doing a good job of it. Anyway, I'll post about it on later when this is done. I'm embarrassed for not remembering. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to basically, that is going to be my final song. So for those of you who want music and music only, you can feel free to jump out without guilt, and I will see you next time. Again, my website is bobbennett.com, and I hope that you will consider. I do house concerts all the time, so if you're even curious about how that might work, actually a great deal of what I do is going into private homes and playing concerts, and I love doing it. And most of the time when I do this, I do it with people who have never hosted such an event before. So you don't need to really have all kinds of experience and know exactly what to do it before you even consider the possibility. I'd be happy to guide you through that process, and if we can work it out, I will show up, sing at your house, raid the fridge, do whatever it takes to bring you music and right into your home. So bobbennett.com is the website. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the guitar down and just for a few minutes try to maybe pay attention to some of the comments that are coming. And if you've got any questions or comments that I can react to, if that's okay, if this seems a little bit too much like a self-aggrandizing press conference or something, then you can forgive me and click on to something else. But all of you who have checked in, thank you so much. We got about 120 people, 128 people right now. We had as high as 160 at any one time, and that's great. There are times when I play for audiences much smaller than that, and you should know I don't really, I don't have one level of effort for a small audience and then a better level of effort for a big audience. To me, every time I pick up a guitar, it's Carnegie Hall. That's what it's supposed to be. And so whoever I'm in front of, whoever I'm singing for, that's my mission and that's my honor, to pick up my guitar and sing for you. When I sing for you, the songs have a meaning and a bearing that they do not have when I'm sitting alone in the room. Because when you listen to them, that's when they mean something. That's when they find their purpose. You bring everything that you are to the listening of songs, and I'm very grateful and aware of that. And so thank you all for checking in. Okay, we'll just look and see if there's anybody. Yes. Yes, people are checking in and saying that they've had some house concert experiences and like that sort of thing. I love doing it. Let's see. You are welcome. People are kind of thanking me, and I'm just happy that you guys. I cleaned up my office, which it sorely needed, I might add. You know, you always clean up when company's coming. I cleaned up my office and got my setup going, and the tech thing will get better over time. I will learn a little bit better how to do this, but I just wanted to make it a casual. I really am in my office. This really is at my house. There's no professional lighting, as you can see. It's one guy with a microphone trying to make that work properly. No outboard effects or software effects or anything. It's just this. But I love doing it. Let's see. Anywho, oh yeah, someone's hoping they can work out a New York City tour. You know, the East Coast, I don't get to the East Coast near enough, and I'm not sure why that is, but it's not a tude thing on my part. I will go anytime I can, but I never get to, never get there as soon as I could. Oh, Kevin just checked in. It's gamradio.com. Yeah, let me make sure I'm reading that because it's printed small. gamradio.com. That's one of the places you can go to find a well-curated playlist of Christian music that you will appreciate and might not hear on your conventional terrestrial radio stations all the time. Let's see. Oh, Brian Johnston. Hi, Brian. Hi, Don. Hi, family. See you soon. That's very cool. I love saying hi to everybody. Let's see. Is that my brother, Tim Bennett, that just checked in? That's cool. Hi, Tim. He's the handsome one of the bunch. His hunky good looks, that Tim Bennett. Let's see. Oh, Tom Snyder. Tom, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Who else is checking in here? Oh, Bob Wingate. Hi, Bob. How are you? From North Carolina. Glad to see you here. Let's see. Ben Carr is checking in. Dodgers going to World Series. Oh, there we go. A sports update for those of you that are watching this on the night, Thursday, October 19th. So that's pretty cool. Leave it to me to schedule a Facebook Live concert when a game like that is on the line. Anyway. Oh, Katie Reichert, how you doing? Oh, and Reverend John, how you doing from Ohio? I would love to come back sometime. You just give me a text or a shout and we'll work it out. I just saw my friend Bob Mosteller from Ohio recently. He was visiting my friend Kevin Ryan, who builds my guitars. It's his cousin. So he was just out here visiting. And Heather Bott says hi. Okay, that's in Tom Snyder territory as well. And so anyway, okay, what is my favorite worship song to play? Oh, you know what? I'll hang on just a minute. If you'll indulge me, just give me a second here at my computer, okay? I'm going to show you what my favorite worship song is to play, and I can't believe I didn't do it. Okay. We're in the extra innings here, and I don't even know. There's still 110 people here. Oh, my goodness. Thanks for hanging around, everybody. Okay, hold on. Let me reduce this. I'm messing with my screen. Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh, that's no bueno. How do I get out of here now? Oh, that's ridiculous. Hang on just a second. All right, hold on. This is where my lack of tech really comes to the fore. Okay, there we go. All righty. So I'll play. Someone wants to know my favorite worship song. I will play it for you. And I'm embarrassed that I didn't even think to play this song tonight in the main concert portion of it, because I'm on a one-man crusade to sing this song in as many places as I possibly can. The song is, I first heard the version by my buddy Steve Bell in Winnipeg, and then I heard the version of the songwriter Gail Salmond, and Gail is married to Roy Salmond, my producer. But this is not one of those, let's do a favor and have nepotism. Gail is a force to be reckoned with in a wonderful way. And she took a text that comes from a longer text called St. Patrick's Breastplate. And it's also known as the Lorica. Lorica is the Latin word for shield. And so my friend Gail Salmond wrote the music to this. It's called the Lorica. I bind unto myself today the gift to call on the Trinity, the saving faith where I can say, come 3 in 1, oh 1 in 3. Be above me as high as the noonday sun. Be below me the rock I set my feet upon. Be beside me the wind on my left and right. Be behind me, or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. I bind unto myself today the love of angels and seraphim, the prayers and prophecies of saints, the words and deeds of righteous men. Be above me as high as the noonday sun. Be below me the rock I set my feet upon. Be beside me the wind on my left and right. Be behind me, or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. God's ear to hear me, God's hand to guide me, God's might to uphold me, God's shield to hide me against all powers deceiving, against my own unbelieving, whether near or far. I bind unto myself today the hope to rise from the dust of earth, the songs of nature giving praise to Father, Spirit, living Word. Be above me as high as the noonday sun. Be below me the rock I set my feet upon. Be beside me the wind on my left and right. Be behind me, or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. I bind unto myself today the gift to call on the Trinity. And that is absolutely my favorite worship song. It's quite immaterial that I didn't write it. It only matters that I got to hear it and I get to sing it. So you should look that up. And if you're a church musician, learn and do likewise. It's a little snappy. The congregation's going to have to stick with it. But I'm telling you, once you get that into your head, be above me as high as the noonday sun. Once that sort of gets in your head, it comes to you at the best times. When things, all hell's breaking loose and and you're besieged, and it's like, what am I going to do? And then that prayer comes with that chorus. So, the Lorica, my favorite worship song. Alrighty. Let's see. Yes, that's right. Yeah, there's a comment there, very active for a corporate worship song. It is. But I listen, I'm not a worship leader, so I do not have to solve the same issues week after week after week as a faithful worship leader does in that context. But I musically, I kind of feel like a rising tide lifts all boats. I think if you sing that song often enough, and maybe slow it down a little, maybe I'm playing it too fast. That could be it. You could probably slow it down a bit. But a rising tide lifts all boats, and I think you sing that enough for a congregation, and they will like that song so much they will want to sing it, I think. So anyway, that's my opinion. But that's not a bad thought though, Chuck. Because I learned long ago, like in times I don't lead worship very often, but sometimes I do. And when I'm in that role, I have to remember I have to sing everything uncomfortably low for me as a worship leader, knowing that if I do that, then the congregation will be able to sing it right. If I sing it comfortable as a tenor, all of my fellow manly types are going to be muttering my name under their breath because they can't sing that high. So that's how I have to do that. Let's see. Okay. Just kind of looking at comments rolling by. Oh, this is thrilling, isn't it? Just thrilling, me reading comments. Well, anyway, I think this is probably going to be it. But I thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. Time is precious. So whether you're just you've got your head bound in front of an iPad or a headphone, or an iPhone or a smartphone, or whether you're in front of your computer or streaming to a television or something, the fact of the matter is, this is time, valuable time. And the fact that you're spending it with me is really cool. So thank you very much. It's my honor to sing for you. And again, bobbennett.com is the website if you'd like to sign up for my email list. I do not pester you with emails that say, I'm praying for a new van. Gee, I sure hope somebody buys me one. I don't do that kind of stuff. And and in fact, people say, why don't you email more often? And I probably should. But anyway, there is an email list to keep up with things. Of course, I'm always making a noise about projects here on Facebook as well. So anyway, I will say sayonara. God bless you. And as I've said on my albums since 1979, quoting the last line of my song Healings, God bless and keep you, and praises be to the healer of my life.